Hello, beautiful ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. Now you might say, what the heck is 5D? And that's a great question. And it's not one I can answer in 30 seconds. So stick around to the end. I'm going to give you a special 5D message. And take it from someone who's been forged in the fires of painful third-dimensional reality experiences and come over to the other side to that fifth dimensional consciousness of love, peace, bliss, and joy. You don't want to miss this message. I appreciate if you give this video a like, and also later on give the original video a like. It's great karma because it spreads the love. Now today we are looking at Dimash, Greshnaya, Strast, Sinful Passions by A Studio. Apparently this is in Kazakhstani, I don't know what language that is, but here we go, in his own home country.
Всегда гордился и гордится своими талантами. Сейчас на сцену выйдет представитель уже нового поколения казахстанских звезд. Парень раньше нас, друзья, с вами понял, где больше зрителей, поехал в Китай. И, между прочим, там, внимание, победил в проекте «Голос». В Китае человек из Казахстана победил. С хитом...
So he's saying how they are very proud of their Kazakhstan singers. And how this one was so great that he went to China and won their contest. So a Kazakhstani won the Chinese contest.
Студио «Грешная любовь». Впервые на новой волне. Прорыв года. Димаш Qudaibergenов.
And they call him the artist of the year.
Песней «Грешная страсть».
Sinful Passion.
Ты явилась нежданно, как из лунного сна. О, если б знала ты, что мне нужна, только ты одна. Линии долгие лилии, были ночи без сна, но в стуже сердце озарило, как весна. Только ты одна. Долгим огнем пылать в Ангре и мне насте. Дай мне ночью и днем сгорать в костре грешной страсти.
Oh my goodness, you can hardly stop this guy, right? Because it's so beautiful. And you hear like so much emotion he puts into the words, like it's just like so full of his heart. I don't even know how to say that because he never pushes it too much, but you just feel his heart in there. Let's go back a little bit so you can hear this. He's talking about someone he loves, by the way. I don't know if you can read the words. And that this one, I guess, brings the flame to the fire to his heart and wants to be with this one, I guess, as I understand it. So this one he loves. Here we go. I wanted to hear back where he first, so soft. Listen to this. It says, give me.
Долгим огнем пылать в Ангре и ненастье. Дай мне ночью и днем сгорать в костре грешной страсти.
Give me a slow burning flame of passion day and night. You know, love is love is love the world over, isn't it?
Ночь замкнула ресницы,
know if you can read this, but it's sheer poetry. I don't want to give you the words of everything and slow up the song, but it's sheer poetry what he's singing. He says, bewitched by you, I'll drink the potion dry. Only you can draw me back to this world from the abyss. Come on. Okay, we gotta go back. We gotta go back and hear that whole thing again. This is unbelievable. How does his voice reach those ranges? He's a male. How does he reach those high soprano? Holy cow. I gotta get back and hear that again. Here he goes. That is flat out unbelievable. That is flat out unbelievable. Is that what I have to do to get that many flowers? I love flowers. I'll have to learn how to sing like that. Not. I don't think I can. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow, 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 wow.
Видел бы эту картину Басков сейчас.
They just love him so much. Don't we all just love him so much? See, this is the Dimash that I absolutely adore. You know, literally, in that man, I see a being from another higher, consciousness that came down to our world to bring us that light, to bring us that higher beingness through his voice, through his music. And doesn't he do it? Holy cow. And when he's singing, I don't know what you call it. What do you call that? Please comment, by the way. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Does he occur that way to you as well? And what is that when he's going up into all the higher realms? Is there a name for that in the singing world? I'm a casual singer, but oh my goodness, I don't know all these terms. What is that when he's just, what can I call it? Improvising all the way up and down in that whole higher range. Is there a name for that? But he does that unbelievably, doesn't he? And as far as the Sinful Passion's name, so he's got a love for this one. Now, I want to assert that passion is not sinful. There's absolutely nothing sinful about passion. In fact, this is passion in that experience of, well, let's just call it the big O for lack of a better word. I mean, that's about the closest experience you can get to the higher dimensions and what it's like up there all the time, all day, every day. I mean, that's really the closest approximation, and there's nothing sinful about it. Some people, of course, use their sexuality in a sinful way, you know, by, I say sinful, but, you know, what that really means, the actual definition of that is incorrect thinking or errant thinking. That was the actual definition of that word way back when it's first used in our biblical text. But anyway, so people use it in a way that's not a very good way sometimes, you know, by flitting around with tons of different people, or you know, or cheating on their loved ones when they have a promise not to, or some dark ways of interacting. That's not it. That's not what I'm talking about. But when you have that purity of that passion inside of love, there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's everything all right with that. Okay? So that's my first statement there. As far as my scale of 1 to 5 on what's more third dimensional, what's more fifth dimensional, wow, this is very, very high. I'm going to have to, well, it's very like, so, you know, brings you up, it brings you high, it elevates you, you feel great, you know, it's like, you feel like you're up there in the higher realms, especially when he's flitting around there with his voice. Okay, so the only thing that goes a little bit, doesn't fully go to 5D, is that it's all about another person, and another person that does that to him. And that's how we are in this third dimensional world. Really, we are only getting that. It seems that we usually only get that from another person. And then when that other person isn't able to give it for whatever reason, for like things in their life or whatever may happen, addictions and so on and so forth, then you feel the lack of it. So that's the only thing that tweaks it a little bit back from a total 5 to, I would say, a 4.85, okay? Because we do have every possibility to get all that bliss, all that feeling of life from the higher realms, and you don't need it from anyone else. So, wonderful job, Dimash. This is what I love to see in Dimash. Not the dark things, one or so dark things that I've seen what I didn't like, but I love, 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 love this. So thank you, Dimash. Okay, so now, by the way, if you have an interest to, you know, love your life and be in the higher realms yourself, there's many ways that I can assist folks in doing that. I've had quite a journey in my life. In fact, I just did a video about my journey. Hopefully I should have that up there shortly. And if you want to know more about what ways I might be able to assist you, or you might be able to sort of play with me in that realm, you can go to my YouTube description and drop down and go all the way down to my Patreon page, About Lorelei. I have a few Patreon pages, so find the About Lorelei one and just look at all the gamut of my expertise and the ways that I can assist folks. Okay, beloved ones, let's get to our 5D message. What happens to my loved ones when I pass to 5D? So what happens to our loved ones when we pass to 5D? Well, the first thing I would pose to you, because a lot of people ask this question because they're concerned about it, they're worried about it, they don't know, what to do in the matter of that, because we're very attached to people on our planet. See, when we love people, we love them like this, and I've experienced that love myself, by the way, and done it too, at times when I was younger and so forth. So we love them like controlling, like we want them to do things our way, like we want them to, always please us, make sure, they make us feel good. Sometimes we don't think about worrying about making them feel good. We want to love them in a way that tells them what to do, that gives them all, advice, that maybe they don't even want, we want to love them in a kind of a clingy way that gets our everything from that other person, or tries to, which is what we were just speaking about. So we love them in all these human ways, okay? And we don't have that fifth dimensional kind of love, which is detached love. It's absolutely fills you up and fills your heart, but it also gives a person complete and utter freedom to live their life as they would like to do it. Now, I grew up inside of that clingy love coming from one of my parents, where my entire world was wrapped around how could I make her happy, right? In other words, like there was a lot of guilt. There was a lot of manipulation in a kind of a way, because she was a depressed and sad and didn't have a very high self-esteem. So there was a wish for her to try to get it from me. So I tried to give my kids, the exact opposite. I tried to give them complete and utter freedom to live as they want to live and not worry about me and not concern themselves to make me happy all the time. That was my job. I said, that's my job. You have a job to make you happy. I have a job to make me happy. And that's really and truly how it is. We each have a job to make ourselves happy, no matter what anybody else out there is doing. That's our job. And we don't have a job to make someone else happy. We don't have a job to determine the life of another person, how it will go. Will it go in any direction whatsoever, as far as a career, as far as a love, as far as, what you guys decide to do with your free time. We have no job for another person about any of that at all, only about ourselves. And so we don't have a job about what is going to happen to the other person when we do what's necessary for us, what's right for us, what's best for us, you see. It's not our job. It's none of our darn business, as a matter of fact, what happens to another person when we pass through to 5D. Now, I know that's tough. It's hard to hear that because we're so enveloped in this human kind of love. I got to take care of everybody. I got to make sure everybody's okay. I got to do for my daughter and my mother and my sister and my brother. And I got to make sure the whole thing stays together, which it doesn't anyway, right? Have you figured that out yet? All your swirling around to try to make everyone else happy, it hasn't actually done a darn bit of good. Let's just be honest there, right? You just keep yourself running and running and running on that machine like a mouse on a wheel, right? And none of it really makes a difference. How do I know that? Because they're still the same way they've always been, right? Let's just really be truthful. Nothing's changed. Now, I'm talking from experience because I did all of that. I was all of that. I was trying to make everybody happy, do everything for everybody. If you ask me how to jump, well, I'd say how high. So no, then I finally found out this is my job. Me, my happiness, my joy, my love. Now, that might sound selfish, but again, I go back to the thing. Did it make a difference? Did all of your jumping around to please everybody else actually change them in any appreciable way? Or is it still exactly the way it always was? My guess is it's exactly the way it always was. So now it's time to try a new way. When we step back from others, we give them the ability to live their life as they see fit, to do what they see fit. And at that point, as it comes to the fifth dimensional question, okay, when it comes time for you to pass through, they're going to do whatever is right for them. They're going to go or not go. Maybe they'll go, if you go now, maybe they'll go later, or even, there's supposed to be 3 waves of this thing, but it's going to be their job in connection with their higher self to decide when they're going to go or if they're going to go. Some of our loved ones, very frankly, have not experienced enough of third dimensional reality. They have not experienced enough of the separation to have gleaned the lessons that they need to learn as a soul. And so those people probably will not be going with us to fifth dimension. There's not going to be a ton of those, as I understand it, but we need to give grace to our loved ones to either go or not go. So when it comes to that time, in fact, now, beginning right now, it's time to start to, practice a little more of a love that is divine. A love that gives people freedom to do as they will with their life. A love that does not step in and try to solve every problem that everyone has out there every minute of every day. This is not a divine love because you're not allowing your loved ones to learn from their own experiences and to work things out themselves. So it's time to right now practice that detachment from all the people that you love. I mean, obviously, when you're with them, you're doing things, you're having a good time, great. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's this striving to solve everyone's problems and be worried about what they are and be worried about other people and what are people going to do without me. Now, that's a lot of ego, by the way. We have that going on in my family a lot. A lot of people jumping around. I used to do it to try to solve everyone else's problem out there. And that's a lot of ego because we feel like if we weren't here, they would all fall apart. Like that's the premise of that. If I'm not here, everyone else falls apart. Now, in the same line, I ask you, when people ask me, what happens to my family when I move to fifth dimension? Well, what happens to your family if you should die? You have no control over that. There's absolutely nothing you could do about that, right? If that were to happen, they would be on their own. They would have to figure life out for themselves. And now you're going to not die. Now, this is better, isn't it? Because you're not going to die. You're going to go on to a more wonderful, amazing, fantastic life. So let them all go and let them do their thing as they will do it. As my wonderful therapist, Gail Potter, used to say, there's a boat going to the other side. Then she was talking about health and your mental, emotional health that I so desperately wanted in those days. She said, there's a boat that's going to the other side. You must either get on the boat and go to the other side, or you must stay here and be in the same misery you're in. You cannot put one foot on the boat and one foot on the land and one foot's on the land with your loved ones and the other foot's on the boat where you're going. That's not going to work. You're going to fall into the water and that's going to be it. So really, you must put both feet onto the boat if you want to go to fifth dimension. Let them do their thing. Let them find out what life is about. Let them learn their lessons. And maybe, actually, definitely at some point, you will see them in the other realm. However long it takes them, whether it be a few years or a few hundred years, who knows, many lives later, you will see your loved ones. Without a doubt, without any question, you will see them. Okay, beloved, and what are they going to do? They're going to do the same thing they've been doing all this along, right? All this time along. They're on the planet. It's still in the third dimensional, and it has an ability to sort of hold the third dimensional space while it's moving into fifth dimensional, okay? So they're going to do what they've always done, right? And eventually, the whole largesse of the planet will have gone. And the others, well, their higher selves, if they weren't meant to go, would probably find a way to exit them from the planet. Anyway, with or without you, whether you're here or not, their higher self would have found a way to exit them from the planet and go incarnate somewhere else. And that would have happened whether you were here or not. So it makes no difference. So, beloved ones, let them go. And just do what's right for you. And that is the biggest contribution you can make to them. Because, wow, when they see you and you've done it, that's going to inspire a lot of them. They're just going to know that you've done it because you've been talking about it, right? And I've been talking about it. And suddenly you're not there one day. Oh, I guess she went. Maybe that's something I should pay attention to. Maybe I should have listened all along. So, okay, beloved ones, I'm going to send you that fifth dimensional energy, that peace, that bliss, that harmony, that joy, that love, that prosperity, all coming at you right now. Namaste. I honor the God in you. How we love you. How we love you. How we love How we love you.